There's a new era about to dawn at the most magical setting in golf. A place where legends are made, where dreams have been realized, where the royalty of the game have driven down Magnolia Lane to find their golf kingdom. Men like Ben Hogan, Byron Nelson, Sam Snead, where Arnold Palmer first stepped into the world to embrace his army, where in 1965 Jack Nicklaus's performance was so singular he won by 9. In 76, Ray Floyd ran away from the field. He had an 8-shot lead through 3 rounds, a margin many thought would never be matched. But little did they know, 4 months earlier, a golf prodigy was born. In 1980, Seve Ballesteros did the unthinkable, becoming the Masters' youngest winner at only 23. While Seve was winning his first green jacket, 4-year-old Eldrick Woods was beginning a journey to one day be a champion golfer. The fundamentals of youth have transformed into the Tiger of tomorrow, with a power and grace like the game has never seen before.
There it is. Look out. Unbelievable.
Today, all of Augusta's legendary records are in danger as 21-year-old Tiger Woods is poised to make history in the final round of the Masters.
CBS Sports proudly presents the Masters.
April the 13th, 1997 is the day many have waited for. Here at Augusta National, a special story is blossoming. It's the tale of Tiger Woods, who at age 21 is taking aim at numerous Masters records and a win that would have social significance beyond the parameters of his sport. And here's how they stand at this point in the final round. Tiger Woods continues to sizzle. 1 under for the day with a birdie at the second, the rest pars. Costantino Rocca in second at 7 under, paired with Woods today. Tom Watson just gave back 1 at the 6th. After 3 early birdies, Tom Kite even for the day at -4. Tommy Tolles with a first 9, 34. Fred Couples just got back with a birdie at the 7th, back to where he started at -2. Paul Stankowski has given 3 away. Langer and Montgomerie at -1. Out to the 5th live, and Costantino Rocca from Italy has 160 yards to the hole. Ryder Cup member for the European squad who lost in a playoff to John Daly at St. Andrews and got in position yesterday to play in this last group when he went through Amen Corner 4 under, birdie, birdie, eagle, 11 through 13. And that will settle all the way back at the front edge. Tiger Woods has again unleashed a mammoth tee shot here. Here's the view for Tiger and his caddy Mike Cowan. 128 yards to the pin. Ken Venturi continues to play as though there's never a threat of danger at all. Any kind of big number to emerge never even seems a possibility with Tiger Woods. So the conditions, and I'm going to bring in Peter Costas for a moment. Peter, how about the conditions today for the final round? A little breezier than we've seen the first 3 days.
Jim, the conditions are exceedingly difficult, and it's really going to take a low number, 63 or 64, out of play today. So it's all up to Tiger.
How about the control with which he's playing?
Well, it's been remarkable, but also he's been going into greens with pitching wedges.
Well,
that one gets away from him. That's a rare, that's his first bunker of the week, Jim.
A rare mistake. He has not made a bogey since the third hole Friday, but that will be a most difficult up and down behind the green at 5. Tiger Woods leads by 9, just as he started. And right now, let's introduce you to the gentleman describing the action along Augusta's famed second 9.
I'm Peter Costas on the 10th hole. Originally, this hole played 430 yards long. The green right here, protected by the Mackenzie bunker. But Bob Jones felt because of the downhill slope, it played too short. So in 1937, he moved the green back to its present-day location. At today's yardage of 485 yards, it's a formidable challenge.
I'm Bobby Clampett, and I'll be covering the start of Amen Corner, beginning here at the 11th hole, where water is introduced at Augusta National for the very first time, and with today's pin placement cut only 20 feet from the water's edge. I'll also be covering the volatile 12th, with the traditional Sunday pin placement in the back right. Many consider this to be the most difficult short par 3 in golf.
I'm Ken Venturi, and I'm standing on the Byron Nelson Bridge, which crosses Rays Creek from the 13th tee to the 13th fairway. It was in 1937 that Byron Nelson came to the 12th hole 3 shots behind, made 2 at 12, and went on to eagle 13. He won the tournament that year and became the youngest player to win the Masters. He was 25 years old.
I'm Jerry Pate at the 14th hole, a hole that has no bunkers and no hazards. What it does have, though, is this difficult green. A green that the players must carry this large rise here in front, some 5 feet from front to top. Once you get over this rise, though, it's the most severely sloping green here at Augusta National from left to right, 7 feet in fall. But today the players have one advantage, this hole location. It's the easiest on the 14th green.
I'm David Faherty, standing here in the 15th fairway, about the spot where Tiger Woods normally drives it. He's hit wedge into this hole twice. Back in 1935, and about 100 yards back up that way, Gene Sarazen holed his famous forward shot for the double eagle 2. The best Tiger has done is a 3 this week, so far.
I'm Sean McDonough. I'll be here at the par 3 16th, where for the first time this weekend, the flagstick has been placed on the back left portion of the green, the most accessible location on this green, because as you can see, if the ball catches this slope just right, good things can happen. Oh, I missed it left.
I'm Peter Osterhaus at the 17th hole. It's a straightaway par 4 played past the Eisenhower Pine. It's only just 400 yards, so generally thought of as a good birdie opportunity. But a wayward drive or a careless approach can quickly lead to a disappointing drop shot.
And this is the 18th. It plays to a deceiving 405 yards, a steep rise, its arduous uphill climb, symbolic of the effort it takes to be a Masters champion. The flagstick is in the preferred Sunday location, guarded by the front left bunker, making par a testing score here in the final round. And back live to the 5th, and Tiger Woods made only 5 bogeys this week, but the last came in the second round on the 3rd hole. Stretch of 37 holes without a bogey.
Jim, notice how wide he's making his stance here, because he's got to get the ball up very fast and got to slip the club under the ball. Got to get up very quickly.
Well, able to leave it on that level and not roll back to the front like we saw Roca's. Back that bogey at 3 on Friday, the only one in the last 49 holes. He's 20 under since the first 9:40 on Thursday. This is Roca earlier. He was away. His putt for birdie, and really 2 putts would be quite an achievement from the front of 5. This is really one of the gems at Augusta National that often gets overlooked, Kenny, when you talk about the most difficult holes here.
I was talking with Byron Nelson. I said, do you ever remember hitting an iron on the top shelf at number 5 and stopping the ball? He said, no, we always used to have it run it up. If we hit it on the top shelf, we'd find ourselves on the 14th tee.
He's moved along just as he did yesterday en route to a 65.
He's been able to come back a lot, Jim. What he's done is that when you looked at him like he was in trouble when he made the 40 on the front nine the first round, then he was able to chip in at number 12. He's made some great par-saving putts, and this would be one of the best par-saving putts you could have, but he's been able to, he hasn't missed anything short, and he's been very, very good from this length, saving par.
Yeah, yesterday, Kenny, a real confidence boost for that round, the low round of the tournament thus far, came with a putt of this same length at the third hole. Nope. So his first miscue in 48 hours, a span of quite a significant stretch, 37 holes.
I think why the shot went over the green, maybe a gust of wind, but I think what he was trying to do was to protect not doing what Roca did of getting down the bottom, because if you can two-putt from the bottom of number 5, you have really accomplished something.
Bogey here at 5 will just drop Tiger back to even for the day. The 9-shot lead he had coming into the round, the largest in Masters history, eclipsing the Ray Floyd record of 8 back in 1976 when Raymond went on to win by 8. Nicklaus' 9-shot margin of victory in 65 is the Masters standard. Roca now, if he wants to pick up one here on Tiger, he must make this saving putt for par. And the 40-year-old from Bergamo, Italy, some 50 kilometers outside of Milan, stays at 7 under. 1 under for the round. Bogey 5 at the 5th, and his lead reduced to 8. Woods, then Roca, Tom Watson had it to 7 at one time, but bogey the 6th, then Tom Kite all the way back at -3. And hi, everybody, Jim Nantz coming to you from the famed Butler Cabin, where later today the traditional green jacket ceremony will take place. Eldrick Tiger Woods first held a golf club in his hands at 9 months. Driven to play by his father, Tiger, an only child, has displayed a dominance the likes of which the greatest players in the game are saying they have never seen. Look at the records he's already established to this point in the tournament. First off, the largest 54-hole lead of 9 shots, breaking the Floyd mark, the best middle stretch of 36 holes, 66 Friday, 65 yesterday, 131, and the lowest 54-hole total, 201, Ray Floyd, actually matching that mark of 76. The tournament record is 17 under, which Tiger will take aim at today. Jose Maria OLAZABAL, Fred Funk playing together. Couples in love, and those two have won world championships as a pairing. Montgomerie and Else. Watson with Sluman. Paul Stankowski with Tom Kite, who shot 66 yesterday. Then Tiger and Roca. Again, the tournament record right now is 271, 17 under. Nicklaus back in 65. Floyd matched it in 76. Tiger gets to 18. He'll have that mark also. Let's head over to the 6th, the par 3. And the pin location today, especially treacherous there, all the way at the back right. Just a little shelf up there, just a small platform to land it. And Sean McDonough will call the action at 6. Sean?
Jim, this hole, as usual, has been playing very difficult today. Just 2 birdies and 10 bogeys, including a bogey in each of the last 2 pairings by a couple of the men nearest Woods on the leaderboard, Tom Watson and Tom Kite. Each made 4 here within the last 15 minutes. Much breezier here at Augusta National this afternoon. And the breeze from left to right for Roca and Woods. Roca now 8 shots back. And that's well short.
Oh. God. Stop that. Oh.
Safe to say he's less than pleased. Now Woods. Tiger has parred this hole in each of the first 3 rounds. 1 birdie and 1 bogey to this point today for Tiger. Birdie at the par 5 second and the bogey at 5 a moment ago.
Be there. Be there.
Very difficult to get it all the way up to the plateau Jim Nantz was speaking of, and even more difficult to keep it up there to 18.
And the man, they say, Tiger will chase his records. Incredible records, Jack Nicklaus. Who knows? 20 major championships for Jack when you include the amateur titles. And the Bear at 57 with a gallant charge on Friday when he shot 32 on the second 9 to make it into the weekend. Tiger Woods with an 8-shot lead over Constantino Roca. Is it a historic walk to his first green jacket? We'll be right back. In that enormous gallery following Tiger Woods is his mother, Tita. His father, Earl, has been ailing since bypass surgery some 6 weeks ago in Los Angeles and is unable to leave the clubhouse area. Hopes to greet his son, though, shortly after holding out at the 18th. Steve Elkington with an eagle at 13. He's 4 under today, joining Ernie Els at level. 46 players in all qualified for the weekend at +5 or better. Some of the casualties on cut day Friday included Phil Mickelson, Greg Norman, Nick Faldo, the 3-time champion and defender who will be along later, as is tradition, as the defending champion presents the green jacket to the new winner. Let's go back out to the 6th.
Roca and Woods have reached the green. Long downhill walk and then back uphill past a gathering of patrons enjoying another beautiful afternoon. Roca picked up a shot on Woods on the last hole. Now trails by 8. But Kenny, there's a very difficult uphill shot for Costantino.
You'll see more putters from this length, I think, Sean. But this plateau that was up there is about twice as large as it used to be. They made it a little easier, but that slope is very steep. He's leaving himself too many of those, Sean.
It's one of the few features of the course that perhaps is easier than years gone by. Jack Nicklaus talking about his tournament record, 17 under, which he shares with Raymond Floyd, which is seriously in jeopardy this afternoon. Jack said records are made to be broken, and this golf course is a lot tougher now than it was when I shot 17 under par, 271 back in 1965, and when Floyd did it in 76. Woods already the first golfer to win 3 U.S. juniors and 3 United States amateur titles, and now trying to join our Jerry Pate as the second golfer in history to win the major in his first major as a professional. Tigers played the par 3s, the level par this week, 4 under on the par 4s, and -11 on the par 5s for birdie. And still some work to be done. Now, Roca, who said after yesterday's round he thought he had a chance to win today if they let him stop after 9 holes today. But that score might be good enough to surpass Tiger Woods. Costantino said, I'd have to play under par for those 9. See some of the fans scurrying toward the 16th green. One of the benefits of being a part of the gallery at this part of the golf course is the opportunity to watch the 6th and 16th from the same viewing area. Both holes par 3s. Jim Nance mentioned Roca's loss to John Daly in the playoff at St. Andrews in 1995. He made a putt of nearly 100 feet to get into the playoff, and he says he hopes fans in this country will remember him more for that shot than they do for his difficulties in the Ryder Cup competition. Well, he's giving them another positive memory with his performance here this week. For par, never had a chance. Roca falls back to 6 under. And Woods with a chance to push his lead to 9. We go to the 9th hole.
And Fred Couples is for birdie. And 5 years ago this weekend, he won the green jacket. And the key to his last round was a birdie at the 9th from that exact same area. Plus a little break at the 12th, I might add. Didn't find Rays Creek. Back to 6.
Woods for par. The lead back to 9 as Tiger strikes the 7th tee.
At the 7th earlier, this is Paul Stankowski with an overhang to contend with. Right under the canopy, this coming in hot. Oh, how do you do this? Can't believe you can stop it like that with that trajectory at the 7th. Stankowski, who got off to a horrible start with bogeys at 2, 3, and 4, picks up the birdie at the 7th, a hole that just eliminated Tom Watson some 20 minutes back when Watson made triple at the 7th. Head back to the tee, 360 yards, tree-lined, the narrowest driving hole. You don't drive it here anyway, you just hit iron. And this is heading left. Kenny, do you see anything here? I mean, missing it long and left at 5, and now with the iron at 7 off the tee.
Okay, be quiet.
Well, he can get through the trees and stuff. He's got a shot, Jim. But what he's looking at is he's 15 under, and Roca just made bogey to go to 6. Tom Watson made triple. Now it's kind of like the tempo changed a little bit. He goes from aggressive to saying, just keep it in play, make your move. And there's just that fine line in there that it's not the same sharpness that he had the first 3 days.
Roca, and he will have difficulties as well. Tiger Woods, by the way, his lone birdie of the day came at the 2nd, a 555-yard par 5. He knocked it just over the green today with a driver and an 8-iron. He's 11 under for the week on the 5 pars. He leads by 8.
Any good? How about the reaction?
And let's take a mulligan on that differential right now. It's 9 for Tiger. just as he started. He, last year at the NCAA Championships, led by 9 going into the final round. Tiger competing for Stanford. Led Rory Sabatini of Arizona by that 9-shot margin. Tiger shot 80 the last day at the Honors course in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The lead at one time was cut to 3, but he still, even with the 80, went on the win by 4. So that one of the few times that you can say that he's had a lead of that size, and you can draw on that experience. But it wasn't a great round of golf, obviously, that day.
Jim, from that camera angle, that doesn't look very inviting. He looks like he is stymied there with the trees, and this is not one that you can run it through because it's guarded by 3 bunkers in the front.
Ken, don't you think that this will give us a good insight as to his patience and deliberation today?
We've got to remember that he is leading by 9 shots, and what he can do now is that if he pitches it out, he's still got a lot to play with, but it'll take a little wind out of his sails because he feels like he was going so strong.
Rocco from the other side will now hit his approach. Front bunker. Kenny, if you're going to pitch out, you also have to be concerned with the yardage you leave yourself here on this green. It's especially narrow.
Absolutely right, because off the tee, this is not a layup, this is a layback.
No, you might be looking for the sand here. Yeah. Hooked it around. Took his chances, but he's going to, Kenny, I would think, be quite satisfied with being in the front bunker.
I would think so, Jim.
At the 8th, Tom Watson going up a bogey and triple bogey. That's birdie for Watson at the 8th. His 4th birdie of the day to 15.
For Bernhard Langer, and has reinvented his putting stroke one more time. Goes with the long one. In the back door. And he moves to 2 under, 4 under par on today's round. Back to 7.
Ball settled back down at the base of that bunker. And Kenny, what about this shot coming up?
Well, he's got a little bit of a downhill lie, a little bit, but you can see why the ball could not get out of the bunker. You see the lip, the way where it's cut there. But looking at Rocco's shot, the last 3 shots he has hit, he has underclubbed or misclubbed because he's been short on 3 times and leaving himself very difficult shots. But this one again, make sure you get it up high, get it out, and the ball will go a little bit left to right when it hits the green.
Downhill.
That's just about as good as he could do, I think, Jim.
He says people can say all kinds of things about me and Nicklaus and make me into whatever, but it comes down to one thing, me alone. And over at 8, Tom Kite. 3rd shot. 8, as you can see, playing into the breeze today. Tiger's gotten home in the last 2 days with a 4-iron and a 2-iron. Very masterful touch there by the United States Ryder Cup captain. 10 times he's finished in the top 6 at the Masters, including twice a runner-up. 83 to Seve, 86 to Nicklaus. And Rocca's approach squirted out of that bunker or avoided it entirely.
just leaving himself in so many positions, Jim, where it's difficult to get up and down in two. And of course, he's not looking at maybe catching Tiger, but what he's got some people on his heels too.
In Tiger Woods' gallery today is Lee Elder, who back in 1975 was the first African American to play in the Masters. He is here as Mr. Jack Stevens' guest, the chairman of the Augusta National Golf Club. Wanted Lee Elder to be here for what could be a historic event in this game.
Watch how short this backswing is, Jim. He just barely touches, just put the club on it, just touch it.
Look out. So he'll give back at least one. Second bogey in 3 holes, and he's got to shake it off and lock in on making 5. So +1 for the day. This the front side that Adam started on Thursday on a rather wayward track. He was out in 40, +4, before that turnaround Thursday afternoon on the second 9. Just one off the back 9 record when he shot 30. Far outside the hole, he has to set this one. Roca with a par. Tiger with 2 bogeys in 3 holes. We'll head to the par 5 8th. We're on the 8th green. Tom Kite surveys a birdie putt. Said to us yesterday that he could feel his game starting to come back in the last month. Has been somewhat invisible from contention for over a year. Birdie for Kite, and he moves into 3rd position alone. Woods, then Roca, then Kite, and then Watson. To 13, Kenny.
Tom Lehman from 202 yards, little hanging lie. He likes to play a little bit left to right. And look at this shot coming right at it. Ooh, the best of the day. Oh, beautiful. We have already had 3 eagles here today, and that could be the 4th. Let's go to 17.
Willie Woods birdie try from long range, 5 under from the round, 3 birdies at par 3s. Ran it well by, work to do there. And let's check the leaderboard. The 8-shot lead for Woods, struggling now in the middle of the front 9. But great to see Tom Kite and Tom Watson still on that first page. Bernhard Langer going well through the back 9. And Tommy Tolles also a great last round to the 9th.
Tom Watson with a very good chance for birdie. 4 birdies, an awful lot of work to only have a 4 under par score posted, even for the day. Started to go sideways and backwards back at 6 and 7 with a bogey triple stretch. man who won his first green jacket 20 years ago makes par to 13.
And Tom Lehman makes for eagle, and many made him a favorite here, thinking that he could win here. Came into here, he birdied number 12, and now eagles 13 and comes back to 1 over par for the tournament. Started the day at 2 over as we go back to 9.
Jeff Sluman. Sluman became a part of the picture here on Friday with a fine round of 67. Was even yesterday and is even today. Bogey at the 5th, birdie at the 7th. Front side 36 for the 88 PGA champion. To 17.
Willie Wood's return putt to stay at 2 under par. And it's very slippery around the cup. So that coming back for a bogey 5. So Tiger Woods, despite 2 bogeys, still dominating the Masters, an 8-shot lead.
Tiger Woods playing the par 5 8th. He's 11 under for the week on the 5 pars. Roca 8 shots back. Tom Kite 9 behind, and Ben Crenshaw, our colleague and 2-time Masters champion, now joins us in the Butler cabin. And Ben, we've got to tell him, Ben made 11 today at the 15th. You tie the record for the highest score. First set by your playing partner today, Jumbo Ozaki, back in 1987. What happened out there, and is there that kind of trouble out there for others to face?
I wanted to ask him how to traverse the water, getting over, and but I couldn't. But no, I kept hitting the ball into the wind and kept hitting the green coming back in the water. I did it 3 times, but there's no crystal for 11. There's no, they won't give you a crystal for 11.
You earned crystal here by a number of ways, one of which is an eagle, and Ben made 3 eagles this week. At the 8th, Roca now, second shot. It's from 275. 8's playing into the wind today, Ben.
It is, and it's, you know, I think that favors Tiger. You're not going to get up in 2, but it leaves somewhat of an easy pitch for your 3rd. He's, you know, one of the few guys who can get to this green in 2.
He's got 228, so he was almost 50 yards past the tee shot of Roca.
Well, we saw him hit a Titanic 2-iron yesterday. He's farther up the fairway than he was yesterday. Anything to the right here and short would be just beautiful right there. He doesn't need to get left, and he doesn't need to get long on this shot.
Left again, and Ben, this is something now that's happened 3 of the last 4 holes. Iron shots at 5, off the tee at 7, and yesterday he knocked it on the green here, but this time he's left where we saw Montgomerie struggling yesterday on the 8th hole.
That's right, and you don't want to go left, but it all depends on what kind of lie and if he even has a shot underneath the branches. Maybe he can bumble something up there for his 3rd and still get a 5. He would really feel great if he got a 5 right now.
Ben, you know, you have to play here sometime. There are places you don't want to go, and here, if you're ever going to miss it at 8, you've got to miss it right, don't you?
You certainly must, Kenny. And, you know, we saw with Greg last year, but that's the beauty of that front pin, because it makes you shoot at it, and you feel like if you can hit a good straight shot, you can roll up in there.
Let me ask Peter Costas, technically, you see anything in his swing, Peter, that indicates why he keeps missing it left?
Well, Jim, as you might expect on Sunday afternoon at the Masters, his rhythm is a little bit quicker, and his club is going a little bit more to the outside, but that's the bad news. Good news is he has already recovered from an errant first 9 this week on Thursday, and so he knows how to do it. And I expect he'll make his adjustments as he goes through the rest of the golf course.
And this was the front nine card from Thursday. Without a birdie at the start, he was playing with Nick Faldo, last year's winner, and Faldo shot 41 on the front. Make the turn, and Faldo comes in 34. Tiger in 30. Not in the pine straw, and well,
he's unobstructed. At least he'll be able to roll something. I don't know if that branch that's high in front of him prevents him from playing a high shot. He'll have to run this one.
over at the ninth, Tom Kite, fresh off the birdie at 8 from 100 yards. That seductive pin up front. You must be so careful not to get your approach short.
Well executed shot right there by Tom, rolling back for a nice putt.
Back to 8.
I guess that he would be trying to hit some sort of a low shot that would carry halfway into that undulation that you see in front of the pin and slightly left of that, because it's going to get out on the green and go and work to the right.
Pleading for it to go. Oh, look at this.
Is that any good?
He's back.
You
He doesn't know the result of it yet.
Ben, you could put your practice bag down there and couldn't do that good.
You could, Kenny. You could put 25 or 30 of them there. What a shot.
Yep. Just when Roca thought there might be just a slightest crack there after gaining one on Tiger at 7. And Wood's not in great position. Look at this. Not a good approach for Roca. So Tiger comes around the mounds and sees the result. What, 3-foot birdie putt is all.
So that was just a brilliant little shot right there. All field. Now he's staring at a 4, which he is extremely happy to have, because you can get over there in the left and you can make a double very easy from over there.
So Roca will be away. Like so many, he grew up caddying at a local club there in Bergamo, Italy. His father, Angelo, was a gravel miner and never liked the idea of his son caddying at the local club. Let's go over to 17.
Bernhard Langer, 4 under for the round, 2 under for the tournament. And that's very well done. Most putts from that range are run 3 and 4 feet by. Tricky back right pin placement today at the 17th. Difficult to get close and very dangerous if you go over the back of the green. Back to the 10th.
From the left-hand rough, Jeff Sluman, 181 yards. Has a play, can take it out to the right, and if he works a little bit right to left, could actually get this one close. That's not too bad. That's going to be chipping right up the hill. That's a legitimate birdie chip. Jeff Sluman -3. Let's go to 13.
Tolles for 4. Got a putter on the heel right there. So he goes to 3 under par now. Let's go back to 10.
Tom Watson, 178. Almost the identical situation as Jeff Sluman, except he was in the fairway. And that is going to be a treacherous putt. That putt is fast, it is downhill, and it will break at least 3 feet. Tom walks towards the 10th green. Look at this scorecard. 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 4, 7. This is a good illustration of just how difficult the golf course is playing today. One minor miscue at 7, you can lead to a triple bogey. Let's go to 8.
Good for birdie. Good roll. At age 40, he can look at Tiger Woods at 21 and think back at that age, Ken Rocha, and say, I was a 4 handicap when I was 21. To 9, Kite. No.
Just a little more. I mean, you hit putts all week out here, and when you have a nice flat putt, you're concentrating so hard on the line you forget to hit it.
First 9:35 for Kite. Rocha tapped in for his par. Now Tiger back to even for the day.
Ben, this could be one of the most miracle par 4s I've ever seen after they have hit that 3rd shot.
It's played like a par 4 for him. 12 under for the week on the par 5s, birding both on this side today. And the 9-shot cushion returns. To 11.
Fred Couples, front edge, 455-yard par 4. Up the hill, big swinger right to left. Couples even par today. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. For the 92 champ, it's the proper leave. Below the hole. Back to 9.
You saw that little pep talk he gave to himself after just a 3-hole stretch where things were out of sync, and he escapes with a 4. He faces one of the most menacing tee shots for him at Augusta National. Twice this week he's driven it into the trees left. Yesterday he thought he was there again, but had in fact hit it long enough to get past that overhang on the left.
This is a 3-wood, trying to pick out a different line, swing it with the wind. It's blowing right to left.
This time he likes it. And that's why. 4 on the crosswalk.
Well, there's a spoon. That's a spoon 3-wood. It's on the upslope.
Ben, they're going to have to change these crosswalks.
You're right, kid. It's on the upslope. That's a great advantage to be on the upslope going to that shot, as you know, Ken.
Rocha with driver. And that's also excellent position.
Beautiful drive, great angle. Tiger, after the little minor chastisement, he gave himself back there with a golden 4. Let's go to 10.
And Jeff Sluman, earlier I called this a birdie chip, but Jeff has the putter in his hand, so it'll be a little difficult for him to hit this firmly enough to get it all the way up to the hole. He's coming right down the drainage line of the green. Oh, nicely done. Good pace on that effort. So Jeff Sluman will tap that in to remain -3. He's played some very solid golf this year. Nice to see Jeff back. Now while Tom Watson gets ready, we'll go back to the tee and Tom Kite. Absolutely has to work this ball right to left, try to catch the slope. And beautifully done. Let's go to 14.
Tommy Tolles, about 110 yards with a sand wedge. Tolles started today at even par, 3 under. Look at the action he put on that ball coming downwind. A fine shot by young Tommy Tolles. To 10.
Tom Watson with a treacherous putt from a few feet farther away in the previous group. Colin Montgomerie 4-putted from here.
That looked like Ben Crenshaw to me.
That's some Masters experience by Tom Watson. Absolutely fantastic effort by Mr. Watson. He moves to -5, walks towards the 11th tee in the beginning of Amen Corner. Let's go there now.
Couples for par. Solid. 11th hole yesterday was the 3rd most difficult hole on the course. And certainly today it's difficult as well. To 9.
Roca is away 105 yards, the yardage. How about playing 9 when the pin's that far forward, Ben?
Well, you've got a following breeze today, and as I said, both these fellows have gotten up the fairway enough to where at least they can throw some height on the shot, but it's a very, very dangerous pin. You want to try to play a very crisp shot which pitches at the hole or just past it and let it come back down. Through the years, you see so many good-looking shots that catch that crown and come back, but they can play a steep shot and get it past the cup. That's what they're thinking.
As you see the scores here, remember there's always that tournament within the tournament. The top 24 get invited back to next year's Masters, and at the moment, and this will fluctuate, it appears, but +3 is tied for 24th.
The all-important top 24. Players covet that.
Roca grimacing, but he should be pleased. That's their preferred spot.
Well, he missed it a little bit, a little thin, but he'll certainly take it.
He knows it wasn't clean. Tiger's yardage, 90 yards. Okay, conservative play, good play.
Very good play, conservative as well. That's what he needs.
So he righted the course with a birdie at the 8th. And the top 2 are just as they started. Woods at 15 and Roca at -6.
That's one of the greatest putts I've ever seen.
Back at the 9th, Tiger Woods looking at another birdie putt. Be hard to really handle a 9-shot lead in terms of how your mindset operates. What's your strategy?
And keeping your concentration, my goodness. He's just trying to play the golf course. That's hard enough as it is.
Way up, he's fleeting.
Again, beautifully played hole. It's exactly what he needs to do.
Birdie at 2, and he knocked it over the surface into with an 8-iron. Bogeys at 5 and 7, and the birdie at 8, the 2-5 pars. You will head to the second 9, where the greatest performance over the course of one tournament was Arnold Palmer back in '62. He was 12 under for that week on the back 9. Already, Tiger Woods is minus 13 through 3 rounds on Augusta's hallowed back 9.
God, it's amazing. 13 under par, and he's played the front 9. Forget the 40 on the front 9 the first day, and he's played that better than anybody else just about.
Roca played the second 9 yesterday, 3 shots better than Tiger, and he'd like to close out this side. Well, not with that. Also 36 for Roca. He used to hop the fence at Golf Club La Albenza. He learned to play at night with a flashlight. So he learned to play by feel. To 10.
Tom Kite, 164. Much improved play of late by the Ryder Cup captain. Prudent play. Put it in the middle of the green. He has a right to left uphill putt. Let's go to 14.
Tommy Tolles for birdie. Just hit it a little too hard through the break. Tolles will remain at 3 under to 10.
Now we're live with Tom Kite's birdie effort. About as close as you can come. It'll be a par 4 for Tom at the 10th hole. He will remain minus 5. And you wonder with his improved play if he might not be able to play his way, Ben Crenshaw, onto the Ryder Cup team as a playing captain. Now we're back on the 10th tee. Tiger has alternated between a 2-iron and a 3-wood all week long. This is a 2-iron. That's a hair too far down the right side. It will not catch the slope. And that will leave him a very long approach shot to the 10th hole. You know, it's normally said that the 10th tee is where the Masters starts on Sunday, but in reality this week, it started on the 10th tee on Thursday. This is where Tiger righted his ship and has played some phenomenal golf ever since. Now, Costantino Rocca. Solid looking golf swing. That'll be right to left. And there you see the advantage of using the left side of the fairway. He will have some 40 or 50 yards on Tiger on this hole. Now earlier, the roar that you heard while Tiger was hitting his tee shot, Paul Stankowski. Barely touching that putt. It is so fast from there. He knows he got away with one. Paul Stankowski, -3 through 10. And there you see Tiger Woods, -15. Costantino Rocca, his pairing partner, still at -6. Let's go to Jim Nance in Butler Cabin.
All right, thank you, Peter. If he can shoot 33 on the back 9, Tiger Woods will have the 72-hole scoring record here at Augusta National. I'm going to head out to the 18th to see the final hole, and I'm going to turn things over here to Bill McAtee. Ben?
Okay,
Bill?
Jim. All right, Jim, thank you very much. Well, we look forward to the next 2 hours. And then I was thinking back to yesterday at dusk, one of those great Augusta National moments. Tiger leading the Masters by 9 shots, and yet there he was, alone on the practice tee. The stands full but silent, people mesmerized as we have been over these 4 days. The only sound, the click of the ball, as Tiger launched another shot, chasing a kind of perfection that really has yet to be defined. And as we look at Tiger, Ben, what do you think is going through this young man's mind? He's been so poised and on the verge of history today.
Gosh, Bill, I think every one of us have thought so much. Let's watch Tom Watson on 11.
Second shot from 150 yards. That's a smart play. Pin high right.
But I think that obviously, you know, he's enjoying himself. You know, a day. This is a sort of a tormenting day with this wind blowing around. This is not the day that he was wanting to see. He wanted the conditions a little calmer because the undulations sort of magnify themselves on the greens on a day like this. But I think that that 4 on 8 really helped. He's got a tough shot here, but he's trying to enjoy it as best he can. I just hope that he's concentrating as well. It's very difficult for him. He's so young, but like Peter Kostis said yesterday, his greatest asset may be his golfing mind. I mean, he's got an incredible way of playing, plays to his strengths, and he uses great imagination. He's worked on so many things. His ball flight on his approaches, and a very, very mature 21-year-old.
You know, growing up with his father, you can imagine practicing situations. You know, you need this putt to win the Masters. You have to get it close to win the Masters. How do you practice? You've got a 9-shot lead as you start Masters Sunday. Now let's go to Peter Kostis, who has the call at the 10th.
Thank you, Bill. Tiger now has arrived at his second shot. He has over 220 yards. But that'll be no more than perhaps even a 5-iron for him with the downhill situation. This man has dominated at every level of competition he has faced. Again, a very smart play, put it in the middle of the green. And when you look at his play this week here at Augusta, you have to be thinking Grand Slam. That may sound preposterous with only a 21-year-old, but this man has all the tools. He's like Jack Nicklaus, but longer, thinks every bit as well, has a better short game. Now, Costantino Rocca, 180 yards. Beautiful rhythm to that motion, but it doesn't release as he would like, so he will have a long 35-foot putt for his birdie effort. We'll go to 11.
Watson for birdie. But breaking some 7 feet from right to left. To 15.
And the third shot of Tommy Tolles. Most of the players laying up here, and we've had some fun and games. Flag placement, you see that one will back up. Just a little more on that, and that could have trickled the whole way down and into the water. Tiger still by 9. Rocca his closest pursuer. Watson and Kite earlier at 11.
Jeff Sluman coming up the hill. That was for birdie. The 11th hole has only yielded 1 birdie today. Credit that to the difficult pin placement and the southwesterly wind into the player's face here. To 10.
And Tiger Woods makes his way up the slope, protecting the front side of the 10th green, to a very generous applause by the patrons here at Augusta. And Ben Crenshaw, I have to agree, you know, Tiger's golf swing, I think, is maybe only his 3rd greatest asset. He has a tremendous mind, good concentration, and he has a huge heart. You don't come from 6 down in U.S. amateurs to win because of your golf swing.
You're right, Peter. And the second shot that he played right there that's where he wanted to put that ball, underneath that cup.
Well, It took him a few holes to maybe to get his legs underneath him today, and that's understandable going into the first major championship as a professional with the lead on Sunday. Let's go to 15.
Up the hill, little right to left. This for sole possession of 5th place, and a wonderful birdie from Tommy Tolles. He moves to 4 under par, having an excellent Masters to 11.
Tom Kite taking it right to left from 155 yards. And a smart play by Kite, who's been among the leaders in greens hit in regulation all week. To 10.
Tiger surveying his birdie effort, but realistically, he just wants to get the pace proper on this putt so that he can walk away with his 4. The 3 remaining majors this year, Congressional, Royal Troon, and Wingfoot, all suit Tiger's game. And I don't think we've seen this kind of expectations from a player perhaps since Jack Nicklaus in '72, when he won the Masters in the US Open and finished 2nd in the British. Couple of practice strokes. Sole focus will be on speed. This is a little bit hot. Not what he wanted, but he's in a comfortable range. He's got about 3 feet left for his par 4. Let's go to 12 earlier.
Tom Watson 7-iron today, the hole playing 163 yards, and watch this. One of the best shots of the day. Tom Watson 7 feet for birdie. And Jeff Sluman also 7-iron. Starting it at the bunker. The right side of this green not playing as difficult. Some of the balls are holding up and not rolling into Rays Creek. Let's go back to Tim.
Now Costantino Rocca is ready for his birdie effort, holding a slim 1-shot lead for 2nd place over Tom Watson and Tom Kite. Slightly misread, played a fraction too much borrow, but very good with distance control. Very emotional player, very solid player. I think Tiger will be next to play now. Absolutely having a phenomenal week with the putter, and that is key to playing well here. It is impossible to strike the golf ball well enough to avoid 3- and 4-footers, and he has handled them all this week. Center cut by Mr. Tiger Woods. He leaves the 10th green minus 15, still holding his 9-shot lead. He and his caddy Fluff have a conversation off to the side. Hard to underestimate how much of an influence the caddy is here, and Fluff has done a marvelous job for Tiger. He's counseled him. He's kept him loose. Now Rocca for his par. A Solid par for Costantino Rocca, and he moves his way towards the 11th tee in the beginning of Amen Corner. But that is the man of the moment, Tiger Woods. Let's go to 11 now.
Tom Kite. And in a 6-year stretch, he had 6 consecutive top 6 finishes here. Well done. And now Watson at the 12th, and to put things into perspective for Mr. Watson, through 26 holes of the tournament, he was at +5 for birdie. Tom Watson has tied Costantino Rocca for 2nd place at -6. On Friday, he birdied the 9th, then went on to shoot 31 on the back 9. And back at the 11th tee, the slammer himself, averaging 324 yards off the tee this week. The only one to average over 300 yards in the entire field. And up the right side, should get a left-hand kick. Back in the fairway, good angle. And now Costantino Rocca tied for 2nd. Tournament within a tournament. One of the best looking backswings you'll ever see. Watch this. Former factory worker. Right down the middle. 4 times he had to go through qualifying school on the European Tour, but what must be going through his mind as Tom Kite, knee-knocking 2-footer for par, and Kite holds at -5 to 16.
Tommy Tolles. He has joined the battle for 2nd place at 4 under. There's the slope we talked about at the top of the telecast, and watch this. Tolles tapped in for birdie just seconds ago to go to 5 under par and join Tom Kite in 3rd place.
Tom Kite at the 12th. Started a little right. It does carry. It's safe, but a difficult picture. Putt from there to 13.
Davis Love, after playing left at 13, coming down the hill. This is for eagle. And watch it take its break. Look at this. All right. Davis goes to 3 under par. Started the day at 1 under, birdied 12 and eagle 13. And we'll go to 16.
And as we mentioned a moment ago, Ken, Tommy Tolles taps in. The 6th birdie of the day here at 16 to 13.
Couples, that's for birdie after hanging it up on the side of the hill and not going down the hazard. Lucky break. Reminder of the 12th hole when he won, when it hung on the bank. He hung it up here, chipped it back, and made birdie. He goes to 300. Up at the tee, Tom Watson. He's coming on strong. Bogeyed 6, triple bogeyed 7. And that's not the place to put it, Tom. And that is stymied. He birdied 8, 10, and 12, but he's not going to like that when he gets up there. Let's go to 11.
Final group of the day. Costantino Rocca, 170 yards. Difficult to pull the right club here. Wind right now slightly into and right to left.
Get the wind.
Trying to let the wind ride it in. Comes up considerably short, but better there than long. Cold front just starting to push through the area. Winds have been gusty and swirly. Anything out of the northwest all the way out of the south. And a huge group of patrons that have gathered alongside the 11th fairway to watch history in the making. Tiger Woods, 9-shot lead, even par on the round today from 130. Nothing more than a little 9-iron, probably pitching wedge, and look at this. The spin using the slope. In position for birdie where he made birdie here yesterday. Tiger Woods, 9-stroke lead over Watson and Rocca. Tom Kite from behind the 12th. Putting up the slope, then down the hill. Very well done from there. And back at the 11th. Rocca and Woods surveying the slope of this green. Cut position today in the most difficult spot for putting. Rocca has really hung in there. He knew he didn't have a chance to catch Tiger at the start of the day. He just wanted to focus in on his own game and try to play a good round. Wearing the green ribbon in support of Nick Price's caddy, Jeff Squeaky Medlin, and we'll go to Tom Kite finishing up his work at the 12th for par. Solid par for Tom Kite. Few players have been able to get this ball to the hole. Again. Watching Tiger today, I can't help but feel that he has really pushed himself all day long. I get the same sense watching him that I saw Nick Faldo last year. Never giving up. He don't care he has a 9-shot lead. He talked about coming into this week that he was feeling much better about his game because he's got the club in a square position at the top. His 2 previous showings here, he hit it over a lot of greens because his club face was shut. Perhaps some of those left shots we saw on the front side were a result of that shut face. For birdie. Can you believe it? Second day in a row, Tiger Woods takes a 10-stroke lead in the final round of the Masters. And there, the widest margin of victory, Nicklaus in 65, where he shot 17 under. Woods only one behind that mark. And Roca has to just tune out what he's seeing. History in the making. Lost its speed.
Put a little dent in that shoe, too.
Yes, that hurt, Kenny. But they make some fine shoes over there, and the applause from the patrons. And a standing ovation. How they appreciate what this young man is doing. Applause now for Roca. All those lonely hours on the practice tee he faced as a junior, thinking someday of a moment like this. There you can see the first 9 on Thursday. He was 4 over, a 40 on the front 9. And since then, 20 under par. Ben, what do you think about that?
20 under par is unfathomable around here, but Thursday was a tough day for everybody. And how he righted his ship is unbelievable.
Taking it over the bunker. Drifting left, smart play. Worst you're ever going to make on this hole going to the left side of the green is 4. And that draws a smile and a sigh of relief. Been a great mental strain for him. But he's lined the butterflies in his stomach well. Now Roca. Well played. Smallest green on the course. Last year, the second most difficult hole. To 17.
With the Roca bogeying, Tommy Tolles this putt to join Watson at 6 under. Slightly left to right. He thought he'd made it. His first start at the Masters, playing with Fuzzy Zeller, who won in his first start here. Tolles 5 under for the round. Pretty quick on that second putt, but in it goes. He was well positioned putting uphill for the birdie. Missed an opportunity. Back to the 12th.
The lonely walk over Hogan's Bridge. Tiger Woods and Mike Gowan. To 13, Kenny.
Tom Watson's taking a long time to play this shot. He cleared the gallery out and is going to be a long way to 13T. Trying to play a hook shot around the trees, and that's right where the gallery was standing. Now they're running back to their seats, and well played, well thought of. No chance to really go at the green at all.
Now from about 65 yards. Put some spin on it. Now bring it back. Ooh, just a little too close to the green to put a lot of spin on it. But as I said before, without the bogey at 6 and triple bogey at 7, no telling what Tom would have been doing right now as we go to 12.
Most pampered green on the golf course. And the committee has done a tremendous job in getting it ready this year. Underground watering heating system under the green. Keeps the green warm during the winter time. Tiger will have some 60 feet to negotiate, but it's not a difficult 60-footer. Coming just slightly uphill and left to right. Six times he won the Junior World. But like this, he'll take several practice strokes, just feeling the speed. What a putt. 2 feet left for par. Superb.
Bobby, if you watch him when he's putting those long putts, the practice strokes, he's not looking down the ground. He's making the stroke and looking at the hole. It's like pitching a penny or tossing something. You're trying to get the distance with your eye, and he takes the stroke.
To 13.
This is Watson coming down the hill trying to make birdie after laying up. This is got a piece of it, but it went by pretty good. And he'll have that putt for 5 as we go back to 12.
This man's been doing a job on the greens this week. Roca, second ranked, averaging only 1.5 putts per hole. Second only to our own Ben Crenshaw. You can see why. Great putt. So the 40-year-old taps in for par, capitalizing on much of his experience today. Not trying to chase after Tiger, but rather stay within himself. And he continues the Tiger feast. Par at the 12th. 2 par 5s ahead. 1 stroke off the record. To 13.
Earlier, this was Jeff Sluman for birdie to go to 4 under par.
and in 6th place. And here's what it looks like. Whatever that is on the top, 16 under. And then Watson at 6, Tolles at 5, Kite at 5, and Costantino. Now Tom Watson to stay at that number. This is for 5. And he'll remain at 6 under par. And we go to 14.
Jeff Sluman on the tee. Very difficult tee shot here at 14 as it doglegs from right to left, and the fairways you can see slopes left to right, but perfectly played with the 3-wood. To 13.
And now you're in Tiger Woods ballpark right now. 13 coming to 13 and 15. He's had a birdie and an eagle and a par. That birdie at 11 was very impressive, as much as the birdie at 8. Reaching for his tee. Does he like it? Well, he should. That is absolutely wonderful. I mean, you couldn't walk that out there any better than that. In fact, that'd be a long walk.
Kenny, you know, you can see how his rhythm has slowed down now as he's played his round.
I think where his rhythm has changed now is that I think of that miraculous birdie he made at 8 with that wonderful pitch and run up there, and then when it made the second birdie at number 11, I think he got it all there now, and watch out for him. Costantino. He doesn't like it. He's going right. Look out. Well, I can't tell, but I don't think he'll be able to go for it. We've had 5 eagles here today. We've had 10 eagles for the first 3 days, so this has been taken apart. The easiest hole on the golf course is Tiger Woods with 16 under par, leads Tom Watson by 10 shots. Elkington with a good round today. 67 he had today. But there's no catching Tiger Woods. Tom Kite's 3rd shot at the 13th hole, and well played. Kite now could go in with that putt, could go into 6 under par and tie with Tom Watson at 2nd place.
Tommy Tolles at the 18th.
Yeah, the right of it can go, baby.
138 yards from the 2nd bunker, and that will come up shy of that bunker fronting the surface to 14.
Jeff Sluman from 165. Hole cut in the back. Very accessible today. And look at this shot by Sluman. Perfectly played. We'll have a straight in uphill putt for birdie to go to 5 under. Now Tom Watson also with a beautiful tee shot. Tom from 127. Wind behind him, should be a big pitching wedge. Just wants to carry that knob and let it feed to the hole. And you can hear his caddy say, "Be right." He likes it. Just checked up and caught the slope. And that's what makes the Augusta National Golf Course so difficult. 6 inches to the left, he'd have a perfect golf shot. 218.
Tommy Tolles, his first Masters, playing his 3rd shot. Right into the bank. Very well done. That to stay at 5 under. Currently in a tie for 3rd, back to 13.
Now Tom Kite looking at this about 4-footer, and Roca has laid up already, unable to go at the green. And Tom Kite now to go into a tie with Tom Watson. Straight in putt. No motion to it. Very well played. So Tom Kite goes to 6 under par. He's never won here, but he has had an impressive record here. Mr. Consistency around here. And Tiger Woods is surveying the shot to the green, and it's 184 yards to the hole. Hole plays at 485 yards.
First thought it was a comfortable kind of 5, and maybe just a taste of cut on it, setting it up in the right edge of that left-hand bunker and just playing a little slide up there. Maybe we get a little fancy there. So I still like that as a target.
Target he's looking at, he's looking from where he's looking is the left-hand bunker is the line, the left edge of it, and that's playing the fat side of the green. Taking the creek out of play. It's a smart shot. It really is. This here has been nothing but a par 4 for Tiger, playing it in even birdies so far. This is all over it. All over it. How good does it get? You don't want to play him on holes like this, he'll own you. And he's owning everybody today. Let's go to 18.
Tommy Tolles for par. Came to Augusta in '87 for a practice round. He was a student at Georgia then. Not a very good golfer, he said, but that day attending the Masters practice rounds when I decided I wanted to be a pro golfer, play the PGA Tour, and one day make it to Augusta. His first trip, a memorable one. It's tied for 4th to 14.
Jeff Sluman for birdie. Really a strong tournament for Sluman. At first, let's go to 13.
Konstantin Rocca backing off a little bit here. Trying to get set. Trying to gather himself, people moving in the background. Waiting for the tee shots also for the players on the 14th hole. Now to get back to it. They've hit off 14th tee. Stankowski and Kite, and now Roker from 90 yards. It's a good distance. If you get in there, you can put it right about, carry it back to about where Tiger Woods' ball is, and you can back it up a little bit. I really don't know what's bothering him right now. He doesn't look very comfortable.
Kenny, he only carries 2 wedges, and his pitching wedge goes about 125 and his lob wedge goes about 60, so he's in between clubs.
Let's go to 14.
Moments ago, Tom Watson for birdie. Up the hill. Tom Watson will make par at 14 to remain at 6 under in second place to 13.
Things have quieted down now. Roker from 90 yards. Come down. You're a little bit long here. Now back it up if you can. No, not enough spin on it. So not only that, but Tiger Woods will go to school on Rocca's putt coming down the hill. Let's go 4 to 14.
Sluman for birdie. Jeff Sluman to 5 under. 3-way tie for 4th. Watson makes his par. There's still a lot of fight in these players. Although Tiger has a 10-shot lead, they're still battling for second to 13.
Yes, it's nice to smile when you can hit those long drives and those irons at 13, only about 15 feet from the cup. I think the whole thing revolved around that bump and run over the hill at number 8, making that birdie, and got him back his composure. And he'll be looking very much so at Rocca's putt coming down the hill. If he does make the putt, it will be the 6th eagle of the day. The first 3 rounds, this averaged 4.7 as we go to 15.
Where Davis Love has hit it 3 times. That's for birdie. Just outside the left. And nicely done. Davis playing with one of his best pals. This is a nice Sunday at Augusta for him. To 13.
Costantino now surveying it. He'll get it from both sides here. And this is a two-way break. It comes down, it starts going a little bit left, and then it gets down to the hole, it'll go a little bit to the right. So you've got a double break in here. But you can bet that Tiger will be watching this roll. Costantino now at 5 under, and you really don't want to pass this hole without making a birdie, because you feel like you've lost a shot to the field if you make par. One thing this proves, you look at the bridge that goes over the tributary there, you got a lot of spots coming into the front of the green where there's a lot more grass. The ball hangs up, it doesn't come off the hill and go right into the water, so you're a little freer to be able to go with the green. After it took him a long time to hit that 3rd shot and disappointed tee shot, but now ready, and Tiger is watching every move that this ball makes. Now come back to the right. He saw that. That's a misread. A lot of times everybody misses that in the right a little bit as we go forward to 14.
Tom Kite. 9-iron from 138. Taking it in real high. Needs to back up, come back down that slope. Perfect shot from Tom Kite. A man with 8 top 10 finish, 8 top 5 finishes here at the Masters, looking to make it 9 to 13.
Now when Costantino Rocca hit that putt, as it was rolling, Tiger walked over it right behind him and watched the roll of the putt coming down the hill. So he's got a good read on this.
Kenny, it's very similar to the putt he made Friday for Eagle when he took the lead for the first time at the Masters. And he talked about afterwards about how he had watched through the years. The depth of his preparation living in Orlando. He's gone back through the archives of the Golf Channel that's close by and looked at old Masters tapes and noticed how so many times this putt right here would be missed to the right. He said it made a difference on Friday when he drained it for Eagle.
Well, he's a dedicated young man, and I'll tell you, don't be surprised if this goes in. Starts a little left and then will move itself to the right. Oh, you can't. Oh, no. That's the only way it could miss. It doesn't get any closer than that. Dead center. Unfortunately, he'll have to settle for a birdie. But that will put him to 17 under par. And tied now with Jack Nicklaus and Raymond Floyd for the lowest 72 hole total. And don't forget, he's got a big drive at 14 was very make birdie, and 15's right up his alley.
Kenny, it's only the second time in history that any players had an 11-shot lead at the Masters. Seve back in '80 had an 11-shot lead on the 5th hole of the final round. In
ended up winning by 4, was the youngest champion at 23 years, 4 days.
And Roca now staring down, hating the 5 he just made, and walks away 5 under par and tied for 4th. Tommy Tolles, who's finished, and Jeff Sluman after birdie, and 14 goes to 5, and a fine hand as they walk off the 13th green to the 14th tee. And what a wonderful walk it's going to be for the last 5 holes. And it won't be the first. And now let's take it to 14 and you, Jerry Pate.
Thank you, Kenny Venturi. A large crowd gathered here at the 14th tee. Their man, Tiger Woods, in search of history. Looks like Tiger has a 3 wood. Nice low draw. Starts down the center, up the left side, and that is large and perfect. And there's the green. See that button on Tiger Woods' collar? People have been asking about it all week, and that's his player's badge. Many of the players wearing them on their collars or on their hat. Ben Crenshaw, I can tell you something. The pressure that's been on this young man for many years, he's handled it better than any young player.
Jerry, it's just unbelievable to watch him. We've talked to him so much about his mental strength, and they ought to put that player's badge in the Smithsonian. But amazing emotional control, playing at a course that favors him so much.
Roca with the driver. You don't have to look when the crowd applauds a shot like that. The only player in the field other than Tiger Woods to play the first 3 rounds under par. Roca. To 16.
Fred Couples on the tee at the par 3. Fred's 1 under. Fred watching all the way, knowing that ball was coming back down the slope, and it settled about 2 feet from the flagstick. Woods with his lead at 11 in the final round of the 1997 Masters Tournament.
Tom Kite for birdie. Straight in uphill and lost its speed. Disappointed look from Tom Kite as he pars 14 to remain at 6 under. Earlier playing with Kite, Paul Stankowski with a very delicate putt down this slope. What about that? Stankowski moves to -3. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of great golf ahead for this young man. Tiger Woods at 17 under par. 11-shot lead over Watson, Kite. Stankowski 3 under. Justin Leonard 2 under. Couples 2 under. Willie Wood having a great tournament, 1 under. Tom Lehman, British Open champ, at 1 under. Nick Price +3. Larry Mize, past Masters champion, at +6. to 15.
Well, we've seen a lot of that. This green in the front right has been drawn back towards the water, and any ball pitching in there with any kind of spin on it that gets on that downslope will find the water. Back to 14.
From 114 yards, our leader, wearing his favorite color, red. His mom is dressed in red. His golf coach, Butch Harmon, in red. Sand wedge. Talked to Tiger's mom last night, said he went home and played ping pong for a while. And look at this shot. Trying to stay calm. A Saturday night sleep leading the Masters is a difficult one, but not for Tiger Woods, who continues to run away with it to 15.
Watson will have this attempt. Having watched his playing partner get wet. That's safe. 12 feet downhill, a little left to right. Back to 14.
Roca. This was earlier. Also with a wedge. Got a little handsy with that one, and he will not like the putt he has coming up down that slope. See the flagstick blowing, the wind picking up. It's tough to describe the feeling when everyone's pulling for you. But they're all out here to watch Tiger. To 15.
Okay, this would be a mulligan from around there. Natural reaction would be to hit this one long. Right at it. That'll be safe there. Very fine shot, but a lot of spin on it. These fairways at 3/8 of an inch. Green's in perfect condition. Have to land that one beside the hole, or right behind it, preferably.
Roca looking over this very difficult downhill putt. Very impressed with this guy's golf game. The battle with John Daly at the British Open. Continues to play well in major championships. Really, like as Bobby Clampett said earlier, his golf swing. He takes the club back and really sets it in great position on his backswing. Rounds of 71, 69, 70. Started the day at 6 under. Remains at 5 under. Just touched that ball. Just wants to get it over the slope. It'll feed down to the hole. Ben Crenshaw, I don't think people appreciate the definition of fast until they put the greens here at the Augusta National.
Well, Jerry, this green here is, I think, one of the great creations in all of architecture. It's every movement defies your every move when you're out on the fairway. It's a roller coaster green, very much depicting a St. Andrews green that Bobby Jones and Dr. McKenzie set out to do, the 5th and the 14th. Very similar, but you know, it's pretty easy when you're hitting sand wedge in there, my gosh. But
well, it's the only green on the golf course that hasn't been totally rebuilt, taken from the ground up, since they have changed these greens back in the early 80s to bent.
I hope it's never rebuilt. It's one of my favorite greens. It's a fantastic green. It's been the scene of a lot of miscues in the past.
For birdie. Tiger Woods now 18 under, one shot ahead of the all-time Masters scoring record set by Jack Nicklaus and Raymond Floyd. Roca made his par as they will move on to the 15th hole, and I don't know how many strokes Woods is going to shatter this record by, but it's apparent that he set a new standard for golf to 17.
Davis Love out of position halfway between the 17th and 15th fairways to this back right pin placement, with the wind behind very dangerous, just 4 yards of green behind the pin placement, back to the 15th.
This for 6, up the hill a little right to left. That won't come back from there. That's an agonizing double bogey for Jeff Sluman. He will drop 3 under par to 17.
Fred Couples just 110 yards. Doesn't look very inviting with the pin all the way back there. Not much green that the player can see behind the cup, but a well-played shot from Fred to the 15th.
Tom Kite going to have a go at it from 220 with a 3-wood. Drifting a little right, drifting a lot right, and that's right in there in the gallery. That'll be a very, very difficult shot indeed. Earlier, this was Tom Watson. His attempt at sole possession of second place, but he leaves that one out to the left. He will remain at 6 under. To the 16th tee.
And Watson is now ready to strike his tee shot here at 16. And he'll be in the tie for second no longer. That's just the 3rd ball we've seen in the water today. Nick Price and Per Ulrich Johansson, the other 2. Price made triple bogey. Johansson hit a splendid second shot from the tee and salvaged bogey to 17.
Davis Love trying to move to 4 under par, 6th place on his own, and it slides a lot more left to right than the player anticipates. Jack Nicklaus had a putt like that earlier in the day, completely fooled him. Back to 15.
Stankowski from 200 yards. Asking the wind to get it. That one also a little right. That was a 4-iron shot, and that's a very, very fast downhill chip or putt, whatever he decides to do. Back on the tee. Tiger Woods waits as we go to 17.
Davis Love for his par. His second putt played before Fred Couples' birdie try. Freddie, after a double bogey at 14, birdied the 16th. Back to the 15th.
And he's teed it up right in the same spot. Teed it up there all week. Over on the left-hand side of the tee. Made 2 birdies and an eagle here at 15 so far this week. You can expect this one to be a big one. Well, it's big, but it's right. That'll be way over there towards the 17th fairway.
Let's be quiet, please. Stand still behind, please.
Rocca now needs 4 to tie second place. That's a good tee shot, but a long way back. To 17.
Fred Couples for his birdie to get into the tie at 3 under par. Straight up the hill. 3 beautiful shots for Fred. To the 16th.
Tom Watson has decided to play from the drop area at the front of the tee. Only 2 options for the players here at 16 with the ball in the water. They can re-tee, stroke in distance, where they played there first, or go to the drop area at the front of the tee. And he'll have a chance for bogey if he can negotiate the 4 feet. Winding down the final round of the Masters. It continues to be Tiger Woods' tournament.
The leaderboard, and if Tiger Woods wins by 12, it would be the largest margin of victory in a major in the 20th century. The record in a major is 13 shots by old Tom Morris in the British Open in 1862. To 15.
Where Tom Kite has his work cut out for him. Over here, just right of the bunker, to the right of this 15th green. That ground will be trampled down. The patrons have been standing. As you can see, no green to work with. Yikes. Well, tried to pick it clean. Didn't get the elevation on it. Very difficult spot indeed there. And unless this has made it into the flat of the bunker or onto the upslope, this will be a very, very difficult bunker shot. Stankowski to play first. Just about barely needs to get this one dribbling on the edge of the green. It'll be very fast down the hill, almost straight. Meanwhile, back up, well, I'd like to say the fairway, but it's not really. It's over by the 17th fairway. That's Tiger's ball, and that's the view he has. He has 185 yards from there. Stankowski has about 8 yards from here. You can see that going very slowly. Too slowly. That'll be a nasty downhill 4.5 footer for his birdie. Tom Kite still has problems. Well, he has made it to the upslope. And that makes this shot considerably simpler. Pop this out and then run down. Well, he'll be disappointed with that. Wasn't that tough a shot. Earlier at 16.
Tom Watson for bogey. Well done. So he fell out of the tie for second momentarily. But Kite's problems continue at 15. And we head back to 15.
And this is a very, very fast, almost straight 4.5 footer for Stankowski. Whenever you see a player looking for as long as he has at a putt like this, you know that it has to be very close to straight. There's no obvious break in it. It's just a question of whether he wants to hit it inside left or inside right. Starts at a little left, and it does drift just a touch. And you can see how fast that is. It's gone, well, a similar distance past the hole. He'll take a rest. Tom Kite's putt will break a little bit from the right. Much simpler putt up the hill. But none of these are easy. The late stages of a major. Just ran out of pace. Needed to be a little higher or a little harder. And that's a horrible 6 for Tom Kite here at the 15. Meanwhile, back up the fairway, Tiger doesn't seem to be considering laying up. I'm not sure if that's much of a surprise. Nicely done. Disappointing par, however. He'll stay at -3. And there is an air of expectancy here at the 15th green, awaiting the arrival of Tiger Woods. He wants the responsibility. You can tell. I interviewed him yesterday. He said this is where he wants to be. And a great champion he will be. There's no question about that. His mental toughness, he has a strong stomach, wonderful method. 185 yards. This is a 5-iron.
Tiger.
Down the grip, not happy with it. Oh, and that one's into the patrons on the right also. However, that one is further up, past the bunker. He'll have a clear shot at the flag from there. Tiger Woods by 13.
This tournament started back in 1934. Bobby Jones called it a small gathering of friends. In its tournament history, no one has ever led this event by 13 shots until today, to the 16th.
Tom Kite after the bogey at 15. Now part of a 4-way tie for second. And that's long. Breeze had been blowing into the players' faces here, but it died down just before Kite struck his shot. Back to 15.
Well, he hit someone in the gallery. You see that's come to rest up against someone's bag. And that'll be a very cherished bruise, I would have thought. You can see what he has left there. No bunker in the way. He's got past that. But as we've seen, very fast once it gets on the green. Earlier, Constantina Roca back in the fairway. 90-yard sand wedge shot. And a big tie for second, and he needs to hold that one second on his own. The new yardstick by which this week, at least, all others have measured their inferiority. Still concentrating, still trying to keep his mind on the job and not on the acceptance speech. Just imagining how it's going to react. It bobbles across the fringe. Just wants it to be dribbling onto the green. And you know he wants to get to 20. 21 would be nice. One for every year he's been on this planet. Kenny, what's he thinking of doing here? A lofted club or maybe 7 or 8 iron?
I think it's going to be like an 8 iron or 9 iron, just kind of floated over where you see just the bottom of the screen, the rough, and just bump and run it. No way he wants to hit a lofted club. He just wants to bump this, David.
Well, that's exactly what he did. Needed to be bumped just a fraction more. It was very close to perfect. That'll be down the hill and just a little right to left. Close look at the ball. Just checking to see if it had been damaged there. See that? That's his personal identification mark on it. All these players, they mark their equipment with a laundry marker or similar. Rule of golf. And if you don't know which ball is yours, it's lost. Back to 16.
Tom Kite putting from well off the back of the green. And well played. He'll have that for par to remain in the tie for second. Back to 15.
He's eyeballing this one on his own. Mike Cowan, his caddy, he's really worked on his patience, and that has made such a difference this week. This to go 19 under. See how fast that is. That was just too firm to take the break. even at 13 shots in front. Still has time to be disgusted with himself. To 16.
Kite for par. And the Longhorn remains tied with Tolles, Watson, and Roca for second. 15.
Where Roca has it 12 feet short of the hole. 6 inches right. Just hung it out there too far. He'll tap that one in for par. Remain in a 4-way tie. Second place. '17.
Tom Watson for his par at the 17th. That's the length that's been giving him trouble the last few years, but beautifully holed, stays at 5 under. To the 15th.
Tiger eyeballing this one. It's gone about 7 feet past. Back up the hill, fraction left to right. Lovely, lovely stuff. He makes his way to the 16th. Change of ball. We move up to the green at 16.
And the patrons waiting for the arrival of Tiger. The short walk from the back of the 15th green to the 16th tee. Well, he's setting all kinds of records, and unofficially he has probably established a new mark for standing ovations in one Masters tournament. Tiger has played this hole at even par each of the first 3 rounds. 182 yards today. I guess the only thing he hasn't done this weekend is a hole-in-one. There hasn't been one in this year's Masters. There have been 14 all-time in the tournament, half of them here at the 16th hole.
And I'd say, Sean, most of them at this flag placement, where the ball collects.
Yes, including Raymond Floyd's last year, the most recent hole-in-one. Tiger, as you can see, has slipped into a sweater with the temperatures cooling in the early evening. And not long from now, he'll slip into a size 42 long green jacket. He said yesterday he didn't care what he shot today. All he wanted was the green jacket. He's 3 under today.
No, God. Tiger.
On the green, but a long way from the flagstick. Certainly below average as compared to other shots we've seen from the field here at 16 today. Now Roca. Still a part of the four-way tie for second place. He's the only foreign player on the first page of the leaderboard. He'll have 25 feet uphill for birdie. We mentioned all the American names on the first page of the leaderboard, and Ryder Cup points also a consideration. Tiger will earn 300. You'd have to think the American chances of winning the Ryder Cup in September in Spain would get a significant boost from the presence of Tiger. Paul Stankowski talked about those Ryder Cup points as a key consideration. Whoever finishes second will get 180, and it goes down in 20-point increments through the top 10. Yet another standing ovation for Tiger. .218.
Tom Watson from the second bunker, tied for second with 3 others.
He's 140 yards and caught that heavy there, Jim. That's not even going to reach the bunker at the green. Came up short of the bunker at the green, and now this one's a little delicate little pitch. He's going to have to hit it by and let it run back down the hill.
Back to 16.
It will be fun to watch where Tiger decides to play this putt. There's his dad watching on a monitor. Earl Woods, just 2 months past heart bypass surgery, hasn't been able to walk the course, has watched.
That's really not fair.
From a local home and from the clubhouse the last few days. But Tiger will have to play this putt almost all the way up to the back edge of the green. Then he'll make a big sweeping left turn and run briskly down to the hole. If it doesn't go in, it's likely to go several feet past. The all-time tournament record is 17 under. Tiger is 18 under. It's difficult to believe that so many people could be this quiet. Perhaps we all should have seen this coming last week when the word spread that Tiger shot a 59 on his home course, Isleworth in Florida, to set that course record by 5 shots. Playing that day with his good friend Mark O'Meara. With his back almost entirely to the hole. Almost. Well, now he'll have a testing 3-footer to stay at 18 under. And he'll wait as Roca putts for birdie, but first to 18.
And Tom Watson, third shot.
This was earlier.
Up and down, needed to stay in a second place tie. .25 feet for par, 16.
And Roca for sole possession of second position. Costantino no longer uses the putter with which he holed the famous 100-foot putt at St. Andrews in 1995. His young son got a hold of it and was dragging it around the driveway to 17.
Tom Kite, after a beautiful approach shot, this to go to 6 under. Great approach from 135 on his own at 6 under. And to me, Kite, every time he plays at the Masters, proves that you don't have to be a long hitter to do well. To the 18.
Watson for par.
Coming down the hill, a little swift, moves it right to left. Oh! Well, he's left himself about 2.5 feet, Jimmy, and it's going to be a disappointing bogey for Watson.
16.
Tiger for par to remain at -18. Terrific 2-putt from a very difficult spot on this green. Three under on the back nine today. Now Roca with about 2 feet for par. His reaction to his son dragging that putter across the driveway. I have plenty of putters, but I only have one son. Obviously, he's not caught up on memorabilia as so many are today in our society. To 18.
And Watson to finish with the 5 at the last. Even par, 72. A round that had so much promise, Kenny.
A tribute to the bogey at 6 and the triple bogey at 7.
Tiger Woods marching up to the 17th tee. Straightaway hole, no water to worry about here. Launch it off the tee and a sandwich, I'm sure, for his second shot. And perhaps now just a smile on his face. Not quite the need to focus that he saw earlier in the round when a few loose shots were creeping in. It's the driver. We saw yesterday he drove within 5 yards of the crosswalk, which is at 320 yards. And for yesterday's pin placement, it wasn't really the appropriate play. He made a very difficult short sand wedge approach. Today the pin all the way back right. Eisenhower Pine down the left-hand side. And plenty of room. Wide fairway and room to the right as well. There's the crosswalk. That is 320 yards exactly. And he has 89 yards to the pin. The longest drive of the day by a good 25 yards. And Roca has so many fans in Europe, always wears his heart on his sleeve, always showing his emotions. He's held up well under the pressure of playing with Tiger. Colin Montgomerie didn't react very well yesterday to Tiger's 65. And safely down the fairway for Roca. to the 18th.
Tom Kite, second alone. Finishes a runner-up for the third time in his career.
Oh, good drive. Tom has been sneaky long this week, Jim. I'm surprised at the length that he's been hitting the tee shots.
The numbers are still just hard to comprehend. Tiger Woods by an even dozen with 2 holes to play before he'll head to the Butler cabin and the green jacket presentation. Maybe someday they'll rename that room the Tiger's Den. Two pars for the tournament record. 270, 271. Last shot back in 1976 by Ray Floyd, set by Jack Nicklaus in 65. Tigers 1 ahead of their pace right now. Just needs 2 pars for the mark. At the 18th, Tom Kite.
From 129 yards. And he's going to leave that out to the right there. Didn't take any chances of missing this left. It says he's in second place all by himself, and a good chance he will end that way.
Back to 17, Usti.
And just the gentle stroll for Tiger Woods. He's outdriven Roker by 30 yards. Roker 120 to the flagstick. It really is amazing how Tiger has changed gears once he hit the pro ranks. Best finish in a professional event while an amateur was a tie for 22nd at Lytham last year, where he equaled the amateur 72-hole scoring record. Now Roker proud of the way he's held his game together. Smooth pitching wedge. Stop now. And he knows once it goes over the back edge, rolls and rolls, and now 5 or 6 feet below the level of the putting surface, and a very, very difficult chip shot. To the 18th.
The salute to the captain, Tom Kite.
I'll tell you what, you can stand around here in the stand ovations, the most appreciative gallery, I think, in all of golf right here. They've been coming here for years and years, and faces I look down that I've seen for 10, 15 years in the same place at the 18th hole. They really give a tribute to every player.
But what a tribute to this man in his 24th Masters. What an unexpected performance by Tom Kite.
I'll tell you right now, that is just, he has done well, and not being that long a hitter, but today he surprised me a lot.
Back to 17.
After having been given relief from the paint line of the crosswalk. The sand wedge shot that must come up short of the pin. Stop now. Well, it's not a green in regulation, but it's not a bad spot to putt from. Uphill from there. Exactly pin high. Control of distance on the short iron, something that Tiger really has improved over the last 3 or 4 years. When he played at the Los Angeles Open as an amateur, 16 years old, he was obviously not as long as he is now, but longer than average. But his short iron play was really out of control, and that's all changed. And the gallery is so appreciative of the fact that they're watching something very, very special. Back to the 18th green.
Kite for birdie.
And right now it looks like Tom Kite is going to finish second with his 2-putt here. Makes this a little bit from, this doesn't break much off this hill. This is pretty straight putt. It's deceiving.
get there.
Right on the track, but he's left himself a testy little 3-footer.
Got Tommy Tolles already in at 5 under.
Tolles had a marvelous round, 67, started even par, and he jumped over a lot of people. So Tom Kite will move his coin. Stankowski got a pretty good read on his. This doesn't do much.
Over to 17.
Where Roca has a putter in his hand. Peter Kostis mentioned earlier he has nothing between a pitching wedge that he hits right around 120 yards and a very lofted sand wedge. Either club not really right for this shot, and so difficult to judge putting uphill through the Bermuda. Maybe off the front of the green. Actually, no doubt about it. Protecting against not reaching the top of the hill and having the ball run back to his feet. And a very, very expensive mistake with his second shot here at 17 for Roca. We saw the horrible chip shot at the last hole at St Andrews that set up the fantastic putt to tie John Daly. And still Roca a bit protective of his chipping around the greens to the 18th.
This is for second place.
And with Roca in trouble, you can say Tom Kite makes this, he finishes second all by himself.
For the third time, Tom Kite will finish second at the Masters. This one coming at age 47.
Very impressive there, Jimmy. I've known Tom for a long time and never known him never to give up on anything, but any score he's shooting.
17.
Roca sticking with the putter, and this time it works very well indeed. He may escape with a bogey. But if it's a bogey, it's 2 over par for today's round. And there's a lot of muttering going on when Costantino hits a poor shot. He's quite vocal, as was Tiger with that tee shot back at the 16th, knowing he'd left himself such a difficult putt. He does have a makeable putt here for a birdie. Of course, just a few feet away from rolling down into the fringe, but it stayed on the collar. And so close. Almost 19 under par. He's had a birdie and 3 pars here at the 17th. And I have to say that the majority of the gallery are quickly on the move to the 18th. Now they settle. Roca gives them a chance to do that. Maybe he peeped a little bit, caught the low side. Roca really gets away with a bogey. And the victory march continues to the 18th.
Well, right now, Jimmy, I don't really think that he's now taking his driver. I think he's going to give it all, give us one last long, big hit, good drive, and I'll tell you what, he's earned every minute of this and every applause. He has played some great tee shots here around the bend, leaving less than 100 yards. Wait a minute, what happened?
Comprehensive hook. I think a
hook. That is
Camerlin's went off in his backswing.
Wow, that is as far left as we've seen anybody hit it. I can't imagine what happened back there, you, Jim. That is down to where the old practice fairway used to be.
It's not exactly the way you want to make your walk up the 18th, is it?
Oh, Roca now coming off disappointing bogey. Oh, well struck. Wonderful drive. Costantino.
Let go of the club right away. Looked around in disgust. Please, he said. We'll have to clear out the gallery. Still have an open shot to the flag, needing par to set the Masters record. Well, to think that had he not turned professional, he would have been here as the reigning U.S. amateur champion, third straight year, and would have just been a few weeks away from final exams at the end of his junior year at Stanford. He said before he even entered college that his goal was to win more major championships than any golfer in history, including Nicklaus. And the Bears' career highlights were tacked to the headboard of Tiger's bed since he was a child. So he'll chase Jack Nicklaus, but he follows Jackie Robinson as a man who broke barriers, men who transcended their sport. Kenny, you talk about how this kid has always just had an incredible knack for drama, flair for timing. Tiger's triumph today will come just 2 days shy of the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's debut in the major leagues.
Well, you look at him, we look at him as a golfer that it's hard to believe that he's 21 years old and the future he has and how well he's accepted. Anyone else with that tee shot with lesser length would have been in the bunkers, but he knocked it over the top of the gallery.
His mother, Tita. She met Tiger's father in Bangkok. Her son came back to her mother country right after Pebble Beach. He flew out that night after almost coming from behind to catch Marco Mira. He ended up winning in Thailand by 10 shots and was given citizenship to the country. Heroes welcome.
Camera's got to be right on, Mike. Wait for the camera, Mike.
In fact, if you look at it, the angle there is not really too bad, but I expect this to be on the right side of the green and almost about where Tom Kite's ball was hit. He has to take the bunker out of play, but right now with 12-shot lead, he's taking everybody else out of play.
Father Earl, an ex-Green Beret, took up golf at the age of 42. Trying to figure out who's away. Over here, says Roca.
Flop, it's cable. Oh, it's cable flop. Happy camper.
Roque is going to go ahead and play first.
I think so. I think he wants to get over with, get the shot over with, and he's 120 yards. He's inside of Woods, which is about 130, 132 yards. So Costantino will play first.
Right in the area where Tom Kite was a moment ago. A reminder that coming up next, 60 minutes, except for those of you on the West Coast. So here you go, Kenny. 132 to the hole over in this area where Ian Woosnam in 91 drove it in the 72nd hole, prevailed.
Well, the gallery's not in danger of being hit because it's going to come right over their heads right as soon as it takes off here. So I would imagine that this would be a pitching wedge coming up here. From 132. That could keep rolling. If that had just been a few more feet, that would have been surprising. Right down on the level, leaving himself not more than a 10-foot putt. Even Costantino is applauding him.
A rhapsody of total appreciation and awe at a virtuoso performance like Augusta has never seen. Kenny, he played here for the first time as an amateur 2 years ago. When he departed, he left a letter behind to the club. He wrote to the membership at Augusta National, "Please accept my sincere thanks for providing me the opportunity to experience the most wonderful week of my life. I was treated like a gentleman throughout my stay, and I trust I responded in kind. It is here that I left my youth behind and became a man. For that, I will be eternally in your debt. Sincerely, Tiger Woods."
Well done. Well done. I think that the Costantino will putt first, even though he's not away, but he's going to let Tiger Woods go have the center stage. Costantino now with 2 putts from there will be in a tie for 4th with Tom Watson.
Well, if he could hole it, he would join Tommy Tolles for 3rd.
Gotta go, ball. And he'll putt that out. You think he's very Italian? I love it. He's great. He'll let you know how he feels.
Interesting how Colin Montgomerie played with Tiger yesterday. Shot 74 today. Feeling out of the tournament, I suppose. He shot 81.
Yeah, he's
devastated from yesterday's experience.
He got slipping downhill and couldn't stop it. It can happen around here. Costantino for par.
Oh, no.
Oh, count up the bogey at 17 and a bogey at 18.
He joined Paul Stankowski, who hovered on that first page all week, in a tie for 5th.
There's got to be the most dejected player right now walking off the golf course. You know, Jimmy, Tiger Woods has 2 putts to break the record, which is held by Jack Nicklaus and Ray Floyd. And that's a record, you know, they say records are made to be broken. Well, 18 under, if it ever is broken, I want to tell you who's going to break it. It'll be Tiger Woods.
Well, he's going to just absolutely shatter the margin of victory record here, which was Nicklaus in 65 when he won by 9. This course isn't any easier either than the one that Jack and Raymond set the record with.
No, I think they're being kind when they said this was tougher. I think it's just it's in great condition, but down the hill and very fast as it starts out. Slow down, ball. Slow down.
Well, one last 4-footer that he's knocked in all week with just total nonchalance.
I can't recall all week watching him missing a putt of this length. And when you can make it from 4.5, 5 feet in all the time, it makes the first putt much easier. But now this putt to break the all-time record at the Masters.
I can tell you this, Kenny. The depth of this kid's preparation for this stage, for this moment, just runs so deep. There's no doubt in my mind he's very aware of the significance of this putt in terms of the tournament scoring record.
Well, I know one thing. I'm glad I was here to watch it. I know there's a lot of people feel the same way. I just enjoy watching great golf, and it means so much to see someone like this handle himself this way. But hard to believe, 21 years old. This for the record.
There it is, a win for the ages.
There's his mom and dad.
His father, with that bypass operation 6 weeks ago, unable to be out on the course today, but he was there vicariously, step for step, with his son.
They should be very proud, Jimmy.
Their only child.
It was amazing to see the swing of him at 3 years old. There wasn't much change. I don't know how many teachers he's had, but you don't have to teach very much when you got a brilliant game like that.
Raised on tough love. And his father, always the consultant, counsels Tiger as he heads to the scorer's tent and for the presentation.
I'll be watching you.
Tiger Woods, in a moment like no one has ever seen at the Masters, shattering record after record after record. The green jacket will be on his shoulders in just a moment. Beneath the canopy of the old oak tree, the Masters open Thursday with tradition and poignancy, linking the past with the present. 95-year-old Gene Sarazen, 85-year-old Byron Nelson, and the timeless swing of one Sam Snead, the honorary starters. There was a chill in the air, and it had nothing to do with the temperatures dropping into the 40s. There was the courageous return of Arnold Palmer. Just to make it back to Augusta, less than 3 months after cancer surgery, was a moving triumph celebrated from the first tee to the 18th green. Tiger Woods was focusing in on his first appearance at a major as a professional. After a nervous 40 on the first 9, Woods got on track at the famous 12th. Touring the second 9 in a remarkable 30 shots, one off the record. John Houston's odyssey to the first round lead included a detour at the final hole. From just off the 10th fairway with the 5-iron, it went from Houston, we have a problem, to the eagle has landed. But on day 2, he plummeted back to earth, crash landing with a 10 at the 13th. His despair, however, was exceeded by the likes of Phil Mickelson, Greg Norman, and 3-time winner Nick Faldo, all missing the cut. The bear was almost an endangered species until a back 932. Nicklaus, at age 57, continues to amaze. Scotland's Colin Montgomerie resembles the bear, and at 10 on Friday, he looked like the old master by moving into second with a 67 and in position for a run at his first major. But it was Friday when Tiger Woods' confidence and determination knew no boundary. At 5:31 Eastern Time at the 13th hole, Woods took the lead with an eagle for the first time ever at the Masters. It was a smile suggesting a new era was underway. Saturday has always been known as moving day at Augusta National, but Tiger could laugh at that because he was the only one moving away from the field with a touch on the greens and a raw power off the tee that are only exceeded by his strength of mind and focus and his inner resolve. He put on a magic show at the 18th to shoot 65, the low round of the tournament, and set a Masters standard by opening a gaping 9-shot lead. It was all child's play, or so it seemed. And today, the bridge to the future was to be consummated on Masters Sunday. It was a day in the making since Tiger was old enough to walk and hold a club. His father, Earl, an ex-Green Beret, his mother, Tita, a native of Thailand, named their only son and child, Tiger, after a soldier Earl had met in Vietnam. His father wanted his son to be a champion golfer. Last August, he won a 3rd straight U.S. amateur, an achievement never accomplished by the likes of Jack Nicklaus or Bobby Jones. So after a lifetime of bettering every age record, he looked to achieve his loftiest goal today, and he got settled with a birdie at the 8th. This his second shot at the 14th. On a day when it didn't seem Tiger was on target like he had been the last 2 days, he still shot the day's 5th lowest round. That was a birdie to put him in front by 12, a standard no one had ever enjoyed in this tournament's history, a tournament that goes back to 1934. Can you imagine the pride for that man, Earl Woods? He came here with unlimited expectations, and he exceeded them all.
better than anyone ever thought he would be, better than anyone has ever seen. Tiger Woods, the man and the moment have met. "46 players in all qualified for the weekend. The top 24, well, plus 3 made it this year. Stuart Appleby in at 1 over. Mark Calcavecchia shot 69 today. Our Ben Crenshaw had 3 eagles on the week and an 11 at 15. He was the first to talk about it. Steve Elkington today, a fine 67. Bernie Els hovered around even par all week, unable to quite break through, finishing with a 74 in the last round. Fred Funk at even. And there's John Houston with that eagle at the 18th on Thursday, shot 67, had the first round lead alone. Per-Ulrik Johansson with a birdie at the 18th, and the man from Sweden finishes in red figures. Tom Kite, second alone at -6, and Bernhard Langer today with an impressive final round. Tom Lehman bogeyed the last hole. He needed par at 18 to shoot 30 on the second 9, instead 31. And Justin Leonard with an excellent showing here. Davis Love the third in at -2. 88 winner Sandy Lyle at 4 over. And Scott McCarron, who was the low rookie last year in the field, finished at +6. Larry Mize 6 over. 10-year anniversary of Larry's triumph here. Colin Montgomerie slipped on the weekend. The Bear at age 57 played all 4 days. Frank Nobilo made a 9 today at 15. Marco Mira +6. Jose Maria OLAZABAL, how about Chima? Coming back after that 18-month absence to injury and playing such strong golf the last month. Jesper Parnevik, another man from Sweden, 1 over. Nicky Price +3. Constantino Rocca, saddened by that bogey at the last to finish in a 2-way tie for 5th with Paul Stankowski. Clarence Rose making his Masters debut after a win at Castle Pines. Vijay Singh at even. Jeff Sluman 2 under par. Craig Stadler, the 82 winner here in a playoff over Dan Pohl, +4. Paul Stankowski, a year ago he missed the cut in his Masters debut. He ran out to the 18th green at a greenside bunker, scooped up some sand, put it in his pocket, took it home, showcased it. He said, "I don't know if I'll ever make it back there." He made it back, indeed, and finished 5th. And Tommy Tolles, he was there a moment ago. He's the low rookie of the year with a 3rd place finish in at -5. Sam Torrance and Duffy Waldorf. Tom Watson at -4. Lee Westwood, a special invitee, makes the top 24 at +3. Willie Wood with a great showing today to get to red figures at -1. Ian Woosnam at +11. Buzzy Zeller at +7. Tiger Woods is making his way into the Butler cabin as we run down one more time the top 24, headed by Tiger Woods, Tom Kite, and Tommy Tolles. Page 2, as you see a grand total this year of 16 players in red figures with OLAZABAL and Willie Wood, Calcavecchia, Els, and Funk at even. And the records, well, there are probably just too many to rattle off, but some of them, the all-time scoring record here at Augusta now belongs to Tiger Woods. 270, 18 under par, the largest margin of victory, breaking Nicklaus's 9-shot margin back in '65 by 3 shots. He's the youngest winner by almost 2 full years, and the lowest final 54-hole stretch. 66, 65-69. To go along with, by the way, other records, the low middle 36-hole stretch, that's a new mark, and the largest lead after 54 holes. Also, by the way, the finest performance in the history of the second nine at Augusta National, 16 under for the week, bettering Arnold Palmer's 12 under back nine performance for the tournament back in 1962. Where do you stop? I don't know. Jim Nantz back in the Butler cabin. I'm along with Joe Ford, the vice chairman of the Augusta National Golf Club. Tiger Woods, your new champion, and Nick Faldo, a three-time winner here and last year's winner. I know you're a little disappointed, more than a little disappointed, that no amateur made the cut, but this is just a week to remember.
We have a great champion, though. The record for the Masters was set 32 years ago by Jack Nicklaus. It was tied in 1976 by Raymond Floyd. It was broken today by Tiger Woods. An incredible display of golf.
Thank you.
And we're very proud of you, and we extend our sincere congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Jim, I know you have some questions.
Well, Tiger, I just want to talk about your approach to the day. I mean, how do you go out there with a 9-shot lead, and what was your mindset as you were trying to just get to the finish here today and get the green jacket?
Well, today my whole mindset was never to make a bogey. If I didn't make a bogey, they would have to play a great round in order to beat me. And with that in mind, I'd stick to my guns, birdie the par fives, and then hopefully just make the putts when I need to for par.
We just saw that laundry list of records that you have here. The youngest winner breaking Seve's mark, breaking the 72-hole scoring record, the biggest win by that incredible 12-shot margin. Also, you're the first African American to ever win the Masters or a Grand Slam event, the first Asian American. What does all of this mean to you?
It means a lot because, obviously I'm the first, but I wasn't the pioneer. Charlie Sifford, Lee Elder, Teddy Rhodes, those guys are the ones who paved the way in order for me to be here. And I thank them because if it wasn't for them, I may not have had the chance to ever play golf.
Were they in your thoughts today as
oh,
you
yes,
threw
most
the course?
Definitely. All night, I was thinking about them and what they've done for me and for the game of golf. And as coming up 18, I said a little prayer and said thanks to those guys because it's those guys are the ones who did it.
I know you're one who would never sell your own talents short, but could you ever imagine something like this to this level?
Not really, no. I've never played an entire tournament with my A game, and this is pretty close. 63 holes, exclude the first 9 holes on Thursday. Yeah, exactly. Exclude that, yeah, I pretty much had my A game the entire week. It was an amazing week for me.
One comment about your parents and what this means for you to present this win to them.
It's awesome. I was thinking about my dad going in the back nine on 10, saying that let's suck it up and let's do this. My dad said last night, this is going to be probably the toughest round you've ever had to play in your life. But if you play it well and if you be yourself, it'll be the most rewarding round you've ever played in your life. And that was the mindset I had.
Well, it's time for the green jacket. Mr. Ford.
Last year's winner, Nick Faldo, has won 3 Masters. And Nick, would you present Tiger with his first green jacket?
My pleasure. Tiger, phenomenal performance.
Thank you, Nick.
Welcome to the green jacket.
Thank you.
By the way, it clashes with red terribly.
You'll talk to him about that.
I'll talk to him about his wardrobe
later.
later. That's not a bad size, eh?
Thank you.
Tiger,
thanks, Jimmy.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Mark the date, folks. April the 13th, 1997. The son of Earl and Tita Woods, Destiny's Child, has become the Masters champion, and he has claimed his first green jacket. For all of us at CBS Sports, Jim Nantz saying good night from the 1997 Masters.